What's up, fellas? Another week down, and unfortunately, one more to go, at least in the regular season. And even though I'm sick, college football does not give a shit about what I'm feeling or what I wanted to happen. Not all was doom and gloom this past weekend. There were some ups and some downs. I gotta start back on Friday with a major up, and the only reason I have happiness going into Thanksgiving. The 9th Island Showdown was a glorious day for UNLV fans. But before we get into it, I gotta give a shout out to the University of Hawaii fans that showed up to this game. I was in the Hawaii section, but some of the nicest people I have ever interacted with at a football game. Legitimately, I know that you guys are our rivals, but I enjoy this game every year, and I enjoy the environment that this game held. So shout out to you guys. As for on the field, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you play football. All right, look, the game ball has to go to Paul Guenther. For reals, man, I've been one of your biggest haters, and I might still be. I don't know, man. I'm be honest. After last Friday, what a great performance. What a great play calling performance from you. We had counters to everything Mike Alejado and Timmy Chang wanted to do on offense, and whenever they decided to run the ball, we were able to funnel everything to our linebackers who did not miss many tackles this game. Hell, just looking at the team numbers, we kept a team that is a offensive juggernaut in this conference usually to 231 total yards, and we did all that without being needed to force turnovers to keep the score down. They were 3 for 10 on third down, so our third down defense was really lights out. Looking at individual performances on the defense, Marcel McDuffie, I'm gonna miss that guy when he's gone. What a great last game at home. Blessing had the best game I think he's had as a UNLV linebacker so far. 5 total, 3 solo, but he was always in the area and filling gaps whenever they were trying to run the ball. Amarish Brown had a big sack and a half and 2 TFLs. Jake Pope got his first interception of the season, if I'm not mistaken. But the bottom line is with this defense, I know this defense had talent, so that's why it was frustrating to me throughout this year that we weren't playing even remotely close to the talent we had. But all that's in the past. I'm just happy that Paul Guenther is able to come out there and show what he's capable of, and hopefully they're able to show this in a championship game somehow. Look, we'll get into that at the end, but I'm just proud of these guys. Moving on to the offense, because we balled out on that side too. You don't score 38 points without doing something on offense. Play calling early was a little weird, a little sluggish. Past that, Corey Dennis, I do think that as the game went on, he got more comfortable, because once we got AC-10 in that receiving core going, we were unstoppable. Anthony Colandrea, 21 to 26, 253, 3 tuds, a 92 QBR, and he even had a big time first down run. This guy has consistently shown all of us that he is a Mountain West Player of the Year caliber of player. Now, the numbers may not jump out at you right now, especially with that 253, but
his ability to be a
playmaker week in, week out is what has really helped us win almost every game we've been in outside of the Boise game. This guy is super important to what Dan Mullen and Corey Dennis want to do. I hope we can keep him. We need to do everything possible to keep him. I think as long as he's our quarterback, we can win any game. Going down to our rushing stats, we had 217 total yards rushing. No one really popped off that I can really think of. Kevon Lee had that touchdown run, and JoJo Earl had that jet sweep for a touchdown. As a unit, we did good. There wasn't a single standout player in the rushing department. One thing, though, I gotta bring up, I did not like that the fan base or just everybody in the stadium was doing the wave whenever Jet was down. I think we gotta be more aware, especially when one of our best players, if not our best player, is hurt on the ground. We gotta kind of be more mindful of that. That's nitpicking. It is what it is. It happened. I'm just glad it looked like he was fine. He came in later in the game because we're gonna need him, especially if we could somehow backdoor into the Mountain West Championship game. Receiving, Tayshawn Lyons, 2 big catches for 75 yards and a tud. Jaden Bradley had 5 for 51 and a tud. Dejon Reynolds, dude, he was active today. 6 for 45 and a tud. Everything that we know this receiving core can do, they did. Troy Mary had a big 31-yard catch. It's going to be interesting to see what happens after the season, how we're going to replace some of these guys like Troy Mary, because that is a big body. I think the main thing to take away from this game is that we still have a lot of fight left, and we didn't just curl up into a ball, even though things don't maybe look the best for us in the sense of a conference championship. And that's a testament to this coaching staff, to these players, the want to play football this late into the season. As many players are jumping in the portal early, our guys are at least willing to put their body on the line and represent this school, represent this team and this fan base. I'm very thankful for them. Shout out to all y'all. Hopefully we can keep as many as we possibly can. Man, this was a great week though. As a UNLV fan, the UNLV fan in me, God, I'm so happy. The only thing I can really point to in this game that sucked, and it's just a Mountain West thing, penalties are atrocious in this conference. We have to do something. Did we benefit from some of it? Absolutely. But just in general, the fact that there was 17 penalties for a combined 183 yards for both teams is ridiculous. The Mountain West has to do something about its refereeing. Hopefully we can send those guys with the Pac-12. It is ridiculous though. I mean, that's it. So go Rebels, beat UNR. Since we are on the topic of the Mountain West though, let's look at the rest of the conference and see how things shake out going into the last week of the season. First, we got to start with the Wolf Puppies that went to Wyoming and grinded out a really tough win against the Cowboys. This was an ugly game. The only reason I really paid attention to it was I was hoping Wyoming could somehow back their way into a bowl, especially on the day you guys retired Josh Allen's jersey. Come on, man. New Mexico at Air Force. We really needed Air Force to somehow pull this out. It did not happen. This too was a ugly and sluggish game. The Lobos won 20-3. They pretty much got the lead, sat on the ball, and without Liam Sarka, Air Force cannot score points. Colorado State, Boise State. It was close in the first half. Boise State just ran away with it. Sire Gaines ran all over this Rams defense. The one thing that Rams fans can take away from this is Darius Curry, their freshman quarterback that played in this game. I think they could roll with him. I like the way this kid plays. Numbers aren't too crazy, at least when it comes to efficiency. 26 out of 46, but 293 yards and 2 tuds against a really good Boise State defense. I don't know, man. Y'all might want to run with him next year. But for the love of the game, please get him to keep his bodily fluids to himself. He's trying to be a super spreader out here. Utah State, Fresno State, this is the only thing that probably actually helped us this weekend. Utah State looked like they were about to get ran out of the building. EJ Warner was looking good in the first half. They're running the ball when they needed to, but all of a sudden, man, Bryson Barnes, 23 carries. Yes, the quarterback. 23 carries, 113 yards. He was a baller. Bronco Mendenhall gets this Utah State team bowling again. And more importantly, it helps UNLV jump Fresno State in the Mountain West standings. And then we'll finish it off with San Jose State, San Diego State. It just was ugly. Lucky Sutton, 20 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. But really, they just got the lead, sat on the ball, played defense. And without Eget, San Jose State cannot really do anything. It's so disappointing what happened with them this year. All right, that's enough of me being happy. Let's talk about the thing that very much depressed me this past weekend. My USC Trojans headed up to Eugene, Oregon in a game I thought truly that we could have won before we took a snap. And I'm not saying that Oregon is that much better once we actually got on the field, because there was times in this game it felt back and forth. I mean, to start the game, we both traded 2 touchdowns. Defense was optional, but I mean, they credit to them. They were the better team. I can't take anything else away from them. Like, they are a better football team right now. And truthfully, I kind of had this as a loss in my preseason predictions this year. I just felt like this was more winnable the closer we got to it, because they didn't look that good coming in, but they held us to 52 yards. Our trenches aren't where they need to be an elite football team. I'm not even saying that they are either, because their vaunted pass defense was shredded by Maava when he wasn't throwing them picks. Nonetheless, I just think they played like the more prepared and worry-free football team compared to us. There wasn't a specific spot in this game I could look at and said that's why we lost, except for special teams. Once again, in a big game, our special teams has failed us. But let's be honest, let's take away that special teams punt return touchdown, we still lose by 7 or 8 because we went for 2, which was stupid. I think it just comes down to whenever you only have 52 yards on the ground against a team that can control clock, it means one of 2 things. You were chasing the whole game, or you cannot run the ball against a more physical and aggressive defense. I know some people want to give Maava a ton of shit, and I get it. Did he play well? Nah, but he didn't play bad. We've won games with his stat line. 25 out of 43, 306, 3 tuds, and 2 picks. I mean, are they ideal? No. It's just we were beat up front, and when you can't run the ball, you're really putting a lot of pressure on a quarterback that you know has kind of been a little iffy when there's pressure. I don't know, man. At times, I felt like we didn't want to be in the game, but then, again, there's moments in this game where I can see that we were really invested, really engaged. I'm not mad, little disappointed. The main thing is you have to beat UCLA going forward because a 9-3 season can keep this #1 class intact, especially with a chance at 10 wins in a bowl. I know people don't care about bowl games anymore, especially programs the size of USC. You got to end the season off good, though, and we're taking steps in the right direction. The thing I'm the most mad about, though, I guess, outside of the game was that weird press conference with Lincoln.
Extend Lincoln Riley's contract. What are your thoughts on the fact that a fan base cannot believe that factor in the red team since you don't view it as
That might be the dumbest question I've been asked as long as I've been a head coach, and I've been asked a lot of questions. You ought to feel a little embarrassed to ask that question. This is a professional thing. You ought to try.
I'm not saying you got to bow to Lincoln or really like the guy, but who's asking these questions? Anyways, Makai Lemon, Jacoby Lane had a good game. Jacoby Lane actually had a really good game. 6 for 108, no tuds, but still just always a factor in the passing game. But this is Tanook Hines' best game of the year. 6 catches, 141, 1 tud. Just he looked like a guy that can mature into a 1. I was really happy to see that because we're gonna need him to play really well going forward, as I'm almost 100% sure both Lemon and Lane are going pro. Kennedy Urlacher had a good game. It's really the first 2 games he's played at the collegiate level, at least in my eyes, these past 2 weeks. Desmond Stevens was all over the place, good and bad wise. 17 total tackles, 11 solo. We just got a lot of work to do. I'm not really stressing on it. We got to try to keep this class as much intact as we possibly can and get better in the trenches, especially in the middle on defense. Am I happy with the 9-3 season? Not necessarily, but I think the floor of this season could have been so much worse. As long as we got something building, I'm okay. If from here on out a 9-win season is a bad season for USC, then we're doing something right. Though we have to start trying to make a playoff push, and next year's schedule is going to be tough. If you want me to really believe in Lincoln, he has to do it though. It's still forever and always fight on, beat the Bruins, and let's just move past this. Well, y'all, I think that's all I got for y'all today. I know I usually do a national roundup, but I'm just not feeling very good. I don't know what I got, but this is the worst I've ever felt. I will give a shout out real quick to a couple teams. Shout out to JMU for handling their business against Washington State. It sucks that the committee just hates them for some reason. I think they're getting cheated out of a spot of the playoffs. And shout out to Nebraska. Even though you guys kind of got blasted by Penn State, that was rough to see, actually. That sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Still, if you guys could beat Iowa, that'd be a pretty good season for y'all. Anyways, let's get out of here. Thank y'all for watching the video. This is a college football channel, so if you like stuff like this, think about subscribing. Or if you just want to drop a comment, talk about anything else that happened this weekend, I try to reply, but I think you should like the video.